This is the tutorial for the Dutch braid to a pony.
For this tutorial, you will need bobby pins, a hair tie to match your daughter's hair color, the Conair fine tooth comb, a spray bottle with water, some sort of strong hold hairspray, and strong hold hair gel, and a brush. To start, we're going to be doing the Dutch braid, and if you would like a very in-depth tutorial, I would watch the Dutch braid to the low bun video that should be on this channel. It gives a better angle of what I'm doing, and also I go in depth on how to actually do the Dutch braid. I'm going to go through it a little bit faster here, but if you don't know how to do the braid and would like an in-depth tutorial, definitely check that video out. For the parts for the braid, you make one part going over the middle of the eyebrow, then you make a part going back down behind the left ear, then a part from the left eyebrow going diagonally back eyebrow. That might not make a lot of sense, but if you watch the in-depth tutorial, it will make so much more sense. Now I'm just adding some water and hair gel. This allows the wispies to stay glued down all day at the competition. And then grabbing a thin section of hair, dividing that into 3, doing a normal stranded braid about 3 times down, then adding some hair to the section, putting that underneath the middle section, and then I am adding hair to the next section, putting that underneath the middle again, and I continue this process all the way down until I run out of hair. Again, if you watch the tutorial for the Dutch braid to a low bun, I go a lot more in depth on how to accomplish this braid. One tip that I have is the thinner of sections that you add to each strand, the more defined your braid will be. So I recommend grabbing as thin of sections as possible to keep that braid nice and defined so that you don't look bald. Once I run out of hair at the bottom, I just continue a normal braid all the way down and then tie it off with a clear elastic. This elastic ends up coming out at the end, but just while we're pulling the ponytail up, it helps secure the braid. I'm now adding hairspray to the entire braid to make sure that all the wispies in the braid stay nice and tight. For the ponytail, you want to follow the ears up. That's where your ponytail should lie. It's about 2 inches from the crown of your head. Here I'm just adding some water to her hair. I would recommend using a spray bottle, but I had left mine at home. And then I'm also going to go in with some gel to help hold the hair in place all day. This also helps when you're pulling the ponytail up to keep everything nice and smooth. I'm going to start gathering the hair at the location that I want, smoothing it out as I go, pulling it up higher and higher, until it gets right to where the ears meet. Something I'd like to know is that it's very important to smooth out all the baby hairs underneath the ponytail, not just on top. On the other side of the Dutch braid, you want to make sure that you pull the hair down just a tad bit and then back to the ponytail. This will help show the definition of that part. Once you have the ponytail approximately where you want it, you start spraying section by section with hairspray and then smoothing that section out. That will help harden it in place. You also want to make sure that the hair underneath that braid right by the ear is nice and smoothed out. I'll get to that in a second, but you just want to make sure that that is pulled back nice and slick as well.
Once you have it smoothed out into the height that you want, you can add in the braid and then tie that off with an elastic. If any bumps form while adding the braid in, now would be the time to smooth them out. I'm now just going to take the elastic from the braid out because we don't need that anymore. And if that hair is sticking straight up, a lot of times you could just add hairspray and tuck it underneath the ponytail, and that will keep it from sticking out. Once you have this secure, you're going to take a tiny piece of hair from underneath and wrap that around and use bobby pins to pin it in place. Then just going to add some hairspray to hold that hair in place, and then you're all set.